The biggest question and the thing that I need the most help with and struggle with the most is, I'm sure what everyone struggles with, and what the biggest question that you probably get is simply around growth. Specifically, right, as you mentioned, I have about 100. I think today I released my 108th episode. I've been doing this for just about 2 years. I release an episode a week consistently. I think I've missed one time in the earlier weeks of it, but since then I haven't missed one. And my growth is more or less non-existent. It's pretty flat. I have people listen, but it's the same. I have between, I'd say, 150 to 250 downloads per episode, right? All total on between like 40 and 50,000 cumulative downloads over the last 2 years, which isn't nothing.
Say that number one more time. Did you say 20,000 in 2 years?
I'm a little over 40,000, I think. So between
40,000.
Yeah.
So, well, a couple things. You aren't doing bad with 40,000 in 2 years, because I think that the stat was, I don't remember, and I don't want to misquote it. I'm going to pretend like it was 90%, but I could be wrong. But it's high. It's well over half of podcasters barely reach 5 or 10,000 after 1 or 2 years. So 100-ish, it's a little low, but 150 downloads in an episode is a little low. It puts you, I think, in the top 50%, but or bottom 50. It's right there in the middle if you're at that 150 mark. And if you had 300 downloads per episode, that's where you would hit top 10%. And that's where I want you to be, as minimum at top 10%. So let's almost double or slightly above double where you are now. And so let's talk about what it's going to take, because Paul's asking, hey, I've been putting my heart, soul, my effort, my time, my attention, and probably some money as well into the podcast. And it's been around this 150 downloads per episode mark. What can I do differently? Paul, one thing that I think you mentioned is some of your episodes are solo, some of them are interview. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's okay. Every other week, it's 50-50. Every
other week. All right. The first piece of advice that I'll share with you is a piece of advice that's not easy. And so you might not be able to do it. And the listener might be overwhelmed as well. They're like, yeah, anything but that. I'm already having a hard enough time doing this. How could I double it? But I'll let you know that it's kind of like the term synergy. 1 + 1 equals more than 2. It's the same thing when podcasting. 2 episodes is more than twice as valuable to you as 1 episode, more than twice. So it's not just that you're putting out twice as much. The few things that happen when you are putting out extra content is additional shareability. More people could share. More people will listen. There's another thing. If you're publishing once a week, and like this week, I'm going to do a solo, next week, I'm going to do an interview, and then wait a whole nother week, you're only having 2 guests in a month on average, right? You're averaging 2.175 or something like this guests per month. And so that only gives you the ability of having 2 people share an episode with their audience, with their following, with their listener. Now, but if by any chance you could double your episodes and do 4.3 solos a month and 4.3 interviews a month, then now you're having 4-ish people that could share. So you're doubling that. And some of them have small audience, some of them have big audience, some of them will share, some of them won't share. But you're going to get more than with that synergy, you're going to get a higher probability of getting more people listening.